Other interesting political news, you have the DeSantis war room highlighting Nikki Haley sounding like a Democrat, and they are so proud of the fact that they found this data, they pinned this tweet. Now, this is a quote before the video, and truth be told, there are two. And the DeSantis war room says, quote, New Hampshire voter to Nikki Haley, quote, you sound like a Democrat sometimes. Sorry about that. Watch her face, unquote. And truth be told, her face looks more and more like John Kerry. I don't know if it's the light, or perhaps she had surgery or something. I don't know, but looked a shockingly similar resemblance to John Kerry. And of course, she sounds also like the Cheneys. But yeah, they keep pinning these statements more and more to their profile, which on the Twitter sphere, if you're especially proud of a particular tweet, or I guess in this case we call them posts these days, you can just pin it so that way every time someone goes to your profile, this is at the very top. So they're pinning, or it's called pin. Somebody would probably just call it, they're highlighting it, but this is the mindset of the DeSantis campaign, which makes sense in terms of she is growing in the polls exponentially and getting more and more funding while DeSantis is getting less funding. And truth be told, DeSantis consistently shoots himself in the high-heeled boots he wears. And again, he started around 30+% approval in the polls, or in terms of the Republican nominee. He's down to like 12, which is almost impossibly bad marketing. I don't know who's working this campaign. I don't know if they're inebriated by drinking copious amounts of Bud Light or some other illicit substance, but they're not good at marketing. But who knows? Maybe this will turn around. Maybe people will like these videos, and this will help maybe push him ahead of the polls to get ahead of Haley. Because in some polls, he's behind Nikki Haley. In the poll aggregator, he's only ahead by about 0.8%, which is negligible. That's pretty thin margins. So there's two videos. The first one is the interview with the New Hampshire voter.
You sound really good. You're a strong speaker. Some of your policies I do agree with. You sound like a Democrat sometimes. Sorry about that.
Her face is just stone cold, looking like John Kerry. Now, another is a compilation video, where this one, thankfully it's not too long, it's a little under 3 minutes. This is from the DeSantis War Room again, and they responded to their own tweet. So again, that original video I just told you about, that got 342,000 views, so for the DeSantis War Room, pretty viral. And it got 2,000 likes, so not the greatest number of likes, but for them, pretty good. So it's resonating with some of their prospective voters, apparently. Now, they also responded, so the top response, and this got 363 likes. This is from the DeSantis War Room, and they say, quote, here are the many times Nikki Haley sounded like a Democrat, parentheses, or a little comment, what do you call it, a little bracket, because she is, other bracket. So without further ado, they get an A+ for that intro. It's kind of like a Fallout 3 where they look at an old vintage computer and little green text comes on the screen. They do, I don't know, maybe they hired someone in marketing for once, but cool animation. And now into the video compilations.
You know, I often say that the reason I got into politics was because of Hillary Clinton.
I went with my friend Eleanor Kitzman to a firm and leadership program where Hillary Clinton was speaking.
That is a great way to alienate many, many, many voters on the right and the left, because Hillary Clinton is ridiculously unpopular. And for the record, I would never kill myself. Just putting that out there for the record. But yes, it does appear Hillary Clinton is mentally and morally vacuous in every single possible conceivable way, from destroying an on-prem server with her emails to having her staff destroy cell phones in an attempt to elude the law and destroy data. Which, yeah, no one has an email server on-prem personally these days, even back then. Yeah, there's reasons for that. 30,000 emails just vanished, and she was never held accountable, fascinatingly enough. But nevertheless, back to the video.
And I walked out of there and I said, I'm running for office.
For too long, Republican and Democrat presidents dealt with immigration based on a quota. We'll take X number this year, we'll take X number next year, the debate is on the number. It's the wrong way to look at it. We need to go to our industries and say, what do you need that you don't have?
We need as many immigrants as we can.
Start to listen to your businesses and do what they need.
Years earlier, as South Carolina.
So again, saying you need immigrants, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not sure why the DeSantis War Room is highlighting that specific that little video excerpt right there.
Carolina governor, Haley celebrated a deal that brought a business with ties to the Communist Chinese Party to her home state.
We want to thank Chairman Zong and everyone at the Jushi Group for allowing South Carolina to be the first location of your first U.S. manufacturing hub. We value partnership more than anything else, and we look forward to partnering with all of you.
2015, Haley ranked #1 among Republican governors in Chinese investment.
I mean, for the record, every business in China is connected with the government by default. So again, I'm not saying it's a good thing that she was bringing that company into South Carolina. It was creating U.S. manufacturing jobs, which is a rare thing in and of itself. But it is fascinating to see, I mean, pretty much every business, international global business, works with China, for better or worse. It's just a global environment right now. And it's fascinating to see DeSantis war room again. What are they choosing to go after in this particular case? Again, I think it's an effective ad in terms of, thus far, it's showing the correlation she has to Democrats, to China, and those are very unpopular, especially if you're attempting to be the Republican nominee. Those aren't very popular opinions, or really not really popular track record to have.
Haley's administration oversaw $1.43 billion in Chinese investment in South Carolina.
When I was governor, they wanted to bring in a bathroom bill, a transgender bathroom bill, and I strong-armed and said, we are not going to have that in South Carolina.
What care should be on the...
Ooh, talk about a losing issue. Not protecting women in bathrooms? Especially if she's supposed to be all about, girl power. In her own campaign, she has stressed the fact that she is a female. She is bragging about that and making it an issue, as opposed to just, running as an individual, running on your own merit. To take the stance of, oh yeah, we're not going to protect women in the bathrooms, that's not a good take. And I think overall in the United States, for culturally speaking, more and more people are starting to realize women should have their own protected spaces. And culturally speaking, biological men, there's no legitimate reason for them to be in a women's bathroom. I think that opinion will grow in popularity, and it will be a hot topic when we go into the 2024 election. I think it could sway some voters, especially in the middle. Although, let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, you think maybe it's not the correct take, so to say.
The table when a 12-year-old child in this country assigned female at birth says, actually, I feel more comfortable living as a boy. What should the law allow the response to be?
I think the law should stay out of it.
Nikki Haley think we should be bringing in more refugees.
And America's always been sympathetic to the fact that you can separate civilians from terrorists. And that's what we have to do.
I do not think we need to pull money from the UN. We don't believe in slash and burn.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts.
A huge issue that I'll deal with as soon as I get there is social media.
Every person on social media should be verified by their name.
We need to know exactly who they are, and they need to show their own name.
They need to verify every single person, and I want it by name. Let's increase the gas tax by 10 cents over the next 3 years.
Ooh.
No one jumped.
That's from 2015 when she said that. Ironically, during the last, or second, third presidential Republican nominee debate, she said, oh yeah, we should repeal the federal gas tax, which I thought was actually a good idea. However, of course, it's not original. Republicans have been saying that since, I believe, the 60s. I believe their actual federal gas tax was passed in 1957 or 58. But it's been yet another topic where we'll debate for eons, and yet we'll never actually get something good resolved. Yeah, there should not be a federal gas tax, to say the least. Repeal that.
More forcefully or seemed angrier in America than former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Quote, tonight I turned on the news and I am heartbroken, Haley wrote. It's important to understand that the death of George Floyd was personal and painful for many. In order to heal, it needs to be personal and painful for everyone. But wait a second, you may be wondering, how am I, quote, personally responsible for the behavior of a Minneapolis police officer?
Pretty good music, too. It plays a big role when it comes to these type of political campaigns. They had spooky, creepy music when she was on the screen, make it a little bit more persuasive. And interestingly enough, that video only got about 47,000 views. I think probably would have been more prudent to actually post that originally, not respond and use it in that regard. And perhaps they subsequently did later. Now, again, 363 likes for that particular video. And I think it did highlight many of her ineptitudes. Others, it was a little bizarre that they highlighted. But I think overall, it seemed to be a cliche political message, which did convey the reasons why, if you're a Republican, you probably don't want to vote for her. Now let's go to the comments section and see. This could be a fascinating tale. Both candidates, from both prospective candidates, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, not very popular on social media. Most of the comments usually roasting them. Maybe 50-50 split when it comes to DeSantis. Nikki Haley, she is more popular than Chris Christie. Granted, that's a very low bar, but yeah. Let's dive in the comments and find out. One of the first very popular comments goes to the award of Mr. Robert J. Salvador, and he says, quote, "Nice job, hashtag Chris Sinuhu. Governor DeSantis, who you snubbed, may take the high road, but we don't. You are swamp, so is Nikki." Got 187 likes. So 2 for 1, roasted both candidates. Someone by the name of Unfiltered Boss says, quote, "He's right, she is a Democrat," unquote. I got 138 likes. Let's see here. Someone by the name of Truthful Guys Gal says, quote, "Nikki doesn't..." Oh, apologize for my speaking ineptitudes as I attempt to read a quote. However, if you click the subscribe button, it may help with my enunciation. Just clicking the subscribe button could be what it takes to help with my enunciation, my slowing down my speech. It's not 100% guarantee. Very few things in life are, but it very well may assist. Time shall tell. Now, again, the attempted quote comes from Truthful Guys Gal, and he says, quote, "Nikki won't be doing any more town halls without heavily vetted and rehearsed audience members," unquote. That got 84 likes. Coco says, "Her face, LOL," unquote, getting 53 likes. Indy Lean Right says, quote, "I agree, and I'm a former Democrat," unquote. Got 25 likes. True Red Gal, though not A+ for marketing because I don't see a red hat on her head or even anything else like a cliche Republican little elephant on her lapel. But nevertheless, this alleged True Red Gal says, quote, "Because she is a Democrat," unquote. Got 16 likes. Ironhead 841 says, quote, "I got news for the guy. She doesn't even just, quote unquote, sound like a Democrat," unquote. I got 73 likes. Someone by the name of Thomas Mikowski says, quote, "She sounds like a Democrat because she is a Democrat." And there's a picture of some gentleman wearing a shirt, and it has the old Hillary Clinton campaign shirt that says, "I'm with her," and just crosses out Hillary for Haley. I got 79 likes. Coco simply tweeted the picture of Nikki Haley looking like John Kerry or some type of Frankenstein monster. And that got 35 likes. Let's see here. Buck80 says she's appealing to the middle vote, unquote, getting 2 likes. And interestingly enough, is a positive comment for Nikki Haley. Truth be told, I didn't think we'd find a single one, but in fact, we did find one. Let's see. Jay Rose says, quote, "How old is she? She looks younger? She's been a Dem for a while now," unquote. Got 9 likes. Michael Pomparico says, quote, "That, of course, is a feature, not a bug," unquote. Getting 3 likes. Red Wave Press says that's legendary, unquote, getting 8 likes. So interestingly enough, it seems that comments are mostly negative against Nikki Haley, and a lot of them are more supportive of Ron DeSantis, interestingly enough. So a rare win for the DeSantis war room. Truth be told, they've been overdue, statistically speaking, but looks like most of them are viscerally against Nikki Haley and in favor of Ron DeSantis. And many pictures of that, I swear she looks just like John Kerry. Is it John Kerry? No. It might, I mean, it's a robot. Nevertheless, a lot of people also just tweeting the picture of Nikki Haley holding the microphone looking like she's dead inside. Another one, there's like 3 or 4 of those in a row. They're getting between 6 and 10 likes. So, as youth might say, Nikki Haley was ratioed, as you have overwhelmingly support for Ron DeSantis in the comments and a lot of people just roasting her. So, it'll be interesting to see, again, will this correlate to the actual polls? As Nikki Haley has been increasing in the polls, getting closer and closer to Ron DeSantis, as his campaign, more often than not, continues to shoot themselves in the high-heeled boot, going from about 30% approval rating in the polls for the Republican nominee to about 12.3% now, which is also known as terrible. So perhaps they finally fired someone in the marketing department or the campaign staff and got someone else to assist. But this does appear to see a good win and a good move in the right direction. We'll be interested to see how does it correlate to the polls going forward. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of December, so if you click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give me some feedback and let me know what I could be doing better to improve the quality of the show. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight,